I deployed some capital into a Solana liquidity pool over on the 13th of March. And look, since then, Solana has gone down in price a solid amount. We had some very rough days and now it's back to about 120. But taking a look at my liquidity pool position, you can see I'm profitable. I've made 20 bucks in profit and I'm up $58 as if I were just holding on to these assets in the market. So it's pretty cool that by being in this liquidity pool, I was able to profit so far when my asset has depreciated by 40 bucks. And looking over here, I'm doing about a 45, 46% APR on this position. If you're looking forward for me to show you how you can do the same and make money on your cryptocurrency assets, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss an upload. Remember, this isn't financial advice. I'm just showing you my opinion. Anyways, first of all, I'm going to break down how you can even take advantage of this business model and make money on your cryptocurrency assets. So on the decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, people swap one asset for another. Say someone wants to swap their Ethereum for Arbitrum. Look, they're going to pay a fee. If they want to swap for Ethereum for Arbitrum, they're going to have to pay, in this case, a $14 fee. But what's really cool is that a percentage of this fee gets paid back to the liquidity providers who are providing liquidity to the exchanges in the first place. So if you put up your Arbitrum in Ethereum, you can make money whenever people swap their Ethereum for Arbitrum. And you're probably wondering how you can find these opportunities in the first place. That's where Metrics Finance comes in. It's the best software for finding these opportunities, simulating your returns, and building out your portfolio. And I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can claim a trial to the pro version. So you can go ahead and take advantage of that. I'm gonna go ahead and launch app. I'm gonna hit Discover at the top and we can start looking for liquidity providing positions. So we can go to select exchange. I'm going to select Uniswap, Orca, Radium, Velodrome, and Aerodrome. And then for networks, we can go ahead and select Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, and Solana. I'll zoom out like this. So now there's about 2,576 pools to sort through. That is a lot. We got to narrow this down and get down to the pools that fit our investment style and our goals. So first of all, we don't want to be getting into pools that have 1, 2, 3, 4% APR. We're looking for higher APR pools to try to beat the market. So let's go to fees APR. Let's look for pools that have higher than 15% APR, for example. And then let's go to TVL. We can look for pools that have higher than like 3.5 million bucks in TVL. Now we're down to 126 pools. Now I don't want to enter pools that are paying out only a few $100 in fees per day to the liquidity providers. So let's go to the average daily fees filter and let's look for pools that have over 1,000 in average daily fees, or we can go with about 2,000 bucks in average daily fees. Yeah, let's do that for now. You can always raise this number. Now we're looking at about 76 pools. Now a lot of these off the bat, I'm not going to pay attention to. I'm not going to pay attention to MAGA47 to wrapped ETH, B Trump to wrapped ETH, Pengu to wrapped ETH. I'm not going to pay attention to meme coin positions. What I am going to pay attention to is wrapped ETH to USDC. And going on to the second page, paying attention to pools like USDT to wrapped ETH to wrapped Bitcoin, etc. So we can scroll down, find some positions. So here we have wrapped ETH to Link over on Uniswap. It's showing about 52, 53% APR. We can go ahead and simulate it in a new tab. Let's open it up. So now we can see a lot of information about this pool. We can see the pool price. We can zoom out to see the history of it throughout the past 60, 100, or even 120 days. And then we can scroll down and see the volume history. We can see both the volume and fees per day. All this data is very crucial for liquidity providers, especially over here, this correlation. We want to know how correlated one asset is to another. And for example, this pool price information and the volume history information and the correlation information is all based on the calculation range time frame we have here. So it's showing that using the past 20 days of data, these assets are 95% correlated. But if we go with the past 40 days of data, you can see they're 92% correlated. So to try to get a more accurate simulation, I'm going to use about the past 15 days of data, showing about 93% correlation and solid volume history, solid fees per day, and solid volume per day. So from here, we would do our research on wrapped Ethereum and Link, see what role they play in the DeFi ecosystem, see if we'd want to take on exposure to the assets, and we could go ahead and also find our range. So we can set up a max price and min price. I can just put in a sample for this video. And if we have a max price of about 147 and a min price of about 115, we're looking at about 90% APR, 91% APR. Remember, there's risks to this DeFi investing such as divergence loss. Make sure to do your own research. But anyways, If you'd want to take on exposure to the position, you can hit save to your portfolio and save it for later, or you can go ahead and go to Uniswap and deploy. And then once you found a solid position, you should go back to metrics and look for some more positions. Before actually deploying your hard-earned capital, you should scroll through, do due diligence on multiple positions, see which one you would like to deploy into. So we can go to the next page, keep scrolling. We have the USDC to Solana position, the one that I am in that I showed you over here in the beginning of the video. So we can go here and we can go ahead and find our range. So let's go ahead and go with about a 165 for max price, and we can go with about 95 bucks for min price. And we're looking at about 63% APR. I'll do a 15-day calculation time frame. Now we're looking at about 74% APR. We can even drag down that max price to maybe like 150. And now we're looking at about 88, 89% APR. That's solid. Let's check out the volume history. We can see there's a ton of fees every single day. Look at this, 70K, 179K, 65K in fees. So there's a lot of money in fees for this pool. So of course, the next step would be to do your research on both Solana, USDC, see if they're assets you'd want to take on exposure to and deploy your capital into. And if the answer is yes, if you'd want to deploy into this pool, you can of course hit save to your portfolio, go to the build section, and you would end up going to Orca, since that's the decentralized exchange this pool is located on. Once you're deployed into the pools, Metrics Finance has an amazing track feature, so you can see your current liquidity, your profit loss, and see if you're beating as if you were just holding onto your assets in the market. You can also take a look at an estimation of your next 24-hour earnings, next 7-day earnings, and 30-day earnings. And if your wallet is in multiple liquidity pools, you can also view those multiple liquidity pools at a glance. So make sure to check out Metrics Finance. Remember, I'll leave a link where you can claim a trial to the pro version by clicking in the description down below, and make sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss an upload, and I'll see you in the next one.